Hey everybody, this is Eric, and I'm going to be going over the two games from the House of Sports tournament this weekend that you guys played. You were really doing well heading into this weekend, as you recall. It seems as though you were really embracing the idea of good shot selection, and uh, sometimes you were good enough to win, sometimes not. But uh, again, we can control only what we can control, and we can't control how big we are. We can't well, I was about to say we can't control how well we shoot, not on a short-term basis. I mean, you could continue to work on how well you shoot and how well you finish and your actual skills, but game to game, you can control your decision making, both from a player perspective and from a coach's perspective. And it's an interesting situation because this past weekend, Tom was coaching, and it's not exactly the same. You know, Tom is doing a tremendous job game coaching, but the feedback loop of what is a good shot versus what is a bad shot is sort of suspended whenever you have a new coach in there. You know, because as I mentioned before, you know, what is considered a good shot for a player is very simply whatever the coach says is a good shot, or more to the point, whatever shot keeps the kid on the court as far as playing time goes. I mean, I could talk Tom Blue in the face about what a good two is or a bad two or a good shot or a bad shot, but at the end of the day, if you take a shot and the coach goes like this, good shot, Jim, then by definition it's now become a good shot. And likewise, if you take a bad shot and the coach pulls you out or whatever, however you get consequenced or whatever, then that's considered a bad shot. So whatever I'm saying, even though I know I'm right, it doesn't matter because the feedback loop on the court is all that really matters. Now, on a actual an actual basis. So we have Chris and to some extent me and Mike telling you guys in advance what good shots are and training over the course of years. But at the end of the day, Tom is coaching the team, and Tom is in this particular games he's giving his own feedback loop, and if you take a shot and he says good shot, then that registers for you. So it's an interesting situation as far as this process goes. Whenever you have I won't say substitute in the wrong way, but a backup coach or a replacement coach or a different coach that's game coach. Um, Nonetheless, let's get after it and go through these games from a statistical perspective. And again, we have specific goals for you guys. Right? One is sort of numerical, or several numerical, but and one you can almost consider visual. And I'm going to try to explain it in this way. Let's pull up first the Byram game. And again, I don't really care whether you guys win or lose, right? Because all we're trying to do is teach you guys what good shots are, bad shots are, things like that, so that you can prepare yourself to win the better tournaments against the tougher teams. So the goals I have you guys try to achieve, you might recall, on a game by game basis. Number one, effective field goal percentage of over 50%. And this is just elite, okay, for your age group. 61% for your age group is just humming. Turnover rate, I want really under 20 for you guys. And for you to put up 13%, that's incredible. And offensive rebound percentage, if you can get over 30, that's great. And you guys are 47%. These are the stats that this is what a 30-point win looks like. Okay. And if you continue to put up these types of numbers, obviously it's going to be against tougher competition, but these numbers will hopefully travel and and let you perform well against even tougher teams. Now you might think, well, how can I presume that I'm going to shoot as well or with less contention when you're playing tougher teams? You'd be surprised. Okay, if you continue to make these good decisions, your effective field goal percentage can translate a lot better than you think. Okay? But let's take a look at the shot chart for this game. And this is where it all kind of, where the rubber meets the road here. Okay, so we'll pull this up. And this is interesting. So I particularly am not too thrilled with this. Okay? So even though you had 3 for 3, 2 for 3, 0 for whatever, even though you made some shots, to take 3, 6, 7 shots in this mid-range is really poor. Okay, especially when you have only 50 field goal attempts. Now, again, we can click through these and be a little more qualitative and determine whether these are really bad shots or just they're kind of like half floaters that are actually not that bad. So you can actually click through this, coaches more to the point, and make that determination like this. This, see, that's not a bad suit. I mean, that's like almost a layup. Okay, let's take a look at this one. And that one too. I mean, I'm not going to tell you not to take, like, it's almost a layup at the rim. And this one as well. So, you know, sometimes the shot chart can even be deceiving. So you have to kind of click through here. So with that said, I mean, now that all three of these are considered pretty good, now we're talking about pretty decent shots. The one I want to look at is this one. Let's take a look at this one all the way from the top of the kit. Yeah, that's not going to be very good. Right? But aside from the others, aside from that one, these are all pretty excusable, and you don't have any of these really nasty ones. So this is what you're looking for kind of visually, kind of a blank, you know, U here. Like if you can get kind of a blank U, then you know that you are taking good shots. Provided, again, you know, it's not just about trying to get layups and threes. We want the right people taking the threes, people that have shown that you have a, you know, a statistical advantage taking them as opposed to passing up the shot. And we can look into that a little bit as well. Let's take a look at the stats from this game from an individual level. But overall, shot chart was actually pretty good. It looked deceivingly bad for a minute, but when you dig into it, this was actually really good. Athletes from not the King Hoops game, we wanted from the Byron Hill game. And let's see what we got here. So, Weedy, you were 2 for 6 from 3, not great, but again, that's just one shot away from being really good, right? So it's not bad. Jagger 2 for 5, very good. Mastando 2 for 5, very good. Taj 1 for 4, but again, not the end of the world. It's just a couple of shots. And Grift 0 for 3. But overall, I mean, as the shot chart will indicate, you had a lot of shots right at the rim, really strong results from the rim. Absolutely no complaints from this game. All right, let's go to the King Hoops game where you won 58 to 44. And we'll go overall. And this one you were not as good. So this one you had 47% effective field goal percentage. So I'm actually a little bit disappointed in that. You really should, with this competition, be able to put up a 50% effective field goal percentage. But you made up for that with these two statistics are really strong for you guys. Remember, we struggled with turnover rate all the last several weeks. And for you to kind of clean that up here is very, very impressive. So 10% turnover rate is extremely strong. And your offensive rebound percentage is 31%, just kind of where I need it. So overall, not bad. A little light on the effective field goal percentage, but aside from that, pretty strong. Let's look at the shot chart here against King Hoops. See if we can get that blank U. No, not so great. So you have, well, we'll look at these in a minute, but I don't like these 5 shots out here. Now, again, as a percentage, it's not bad because, again, as long as your bad twos are less than 10% of your field goals, that's not bad. But again, I want to just like dig into these. Let's just see what these could be considered bad twos are. Right, that's not bad. Okay. So this one I'm not going to kill you on. Let's look at the other one. Let's see, what do you got here, Ryan? Where are you going? All right, that's not bad. And I'm not going to tell you not to take that. But let's take a look at these, because this is that U that I really have to avoid. Yeah, that's no good, right? Even though it went in, right? And I've talked about that one for 3 years. Yeah, I mean, and that's contested as well. As I mentioned last week, I'm glad when those don't go in. Because then, any luck, you'll get yelled at and you won't take them. All right, this is going to be a Taj turnaround. Yeah, I don't like these. And again, yeah, not the best. All right. So again, we have to clean this up. We'll be able to get away with it against Kings Hoops. We will be able to get away with it against King Hoops, but not in July. Promise you. All right, let's take a look at the individuals in this game. Athletes, totals. Weedy, again, 2 for 7, not good. Ryan 0 for 4 from 3, not good. Jagger 1 for 5 from 3, not good. Pete, again, pretty solid, 2 for 4. So overall, I mean, this is within the range of outcomes. This isn't that bad. So what? Only 2 games, but overall, I would say you guys get, for me, I'm kind of a tough grader. I'll give you a B minus maybe. I would like you to clean that stuff up. I mean, especially when you don't have to. You know, sometimes when you're playing these good teams and they know to like force you off the 3-point line and they're really playing aggressively and kind of basketball kind of gets in the way of planning, you end up taking a shot you might not otherwise want to take. But when you're playing against teams that'll let you do pretty much whatever you want, there's really no need to do anything except take layups and threes. So continue to try to press that. And I guess that's pretty much it. Listen, we could take a look at the overalls for the season, and why not? Let's look at all season. We have 16 games. It's about half the full college season. It's a decent sample size. So here are some goals that you guys can look for as individuals. So if you were looking for a 50% effective field goal percentage as a team, for example, let's look what we have. As a team, we're right there. It's right where we need to be. Turnover rate's still a little high. Offensive rebound percent still a little low, but the effective field goal percentage is sort of where we need it to be. And I mentioned this when we first started, you know, when you got off to a really hot start. And I said that would kind of normalize and you wouldn't end up being, 60% the whole season. I knew this was going to happen, but we need to kind of just keep this thing near 50%. So as individuals, what can you look for if you want to track this? Well, I think it's fair to ask each of you to at least do one thing that contributes to a 50% effective field goal percentage, which means either shoot 50% from 2-point field goal percentage over 50%, which we're getting. Corey's over 50, Ryan's over 50, Taj is over 50, Jagger's over 50, Ari's over 50, Weedy over 50, or 33% from 3. Okay, because that also corresponds to a 50% effective field goal percentage. And here, look at Corey, very, very nice. I mean, it's a small sample, but 44% from 3 for you. Adi, 41%. That's amazing. Taj, 37. And when we go through these, I ask you, why would you want to take these bad twos if you're shooting well enough from 3 in general to make up for what those bad twos are going to do to you? Now, Weedy, 30%, not quite where I need you to be yet. And one of the things that you can kind of strive to do, and this is tough, it's very, not to say infrequent, but it's quite an accomplishment to be able to shoot both 50% from 2 and 33% from 3 over the course of a whole season. So that's something you can look for. And we have a couple of people who could do it. We already have Tristan, Pete, Taj, Adi, and Corey with the good 3-point percentage. And also Corey is well there in the 2-point percentage. So your guys are doing very, very well. Okay. But I just worry that against the tougher teams, you have to keep this turnover rate cleaned up. Okay. You're taking great steps towards that. And I'm looking forward to see what you guys do coming into the next live period and pretty much with every other tournament. Good luck, everybody.